Well, hello. Welcome to my tavern. This is actually empty. Welcome back to my channel if you're one of my friends, and welcome if you are new. Today we're going to be doing a fun video. So if you saw my last video, you know that I love rent fairs and I go as often as I can. It's part of my content on my other platforms, and I'm slowly trying to integrate all of my content styles onto YouTube as well, so that it's not just thrifting. Although today's video does have to do with thrifting, so you're kind of getting a little bit of both. So next week I am actually going to another rent fair. I'm going with my friend Danica and a bunch of other friends, and it's actually a lot bigger of a rent fair than the last one that we went to, so it's gonna be a fun time. Now, I've been really wanting to do this video ever since I did a short little series on TikTok about thrifting for rent fair garb, in which I just showed some examples of some mostly thrifted / affordable rent fair outfits. And since then, the video is still going strong even though it's been months, and I'm still getting comments of people saying things like, yes, but you must have great thrift stores because I can't thrift those types of items, or I don't know how to thrift for rent fairs, or they don't carry my size. So I wanted to make a little bit more of an in-depth video on not only how to put together rent fair inspired outfits from thrifted pieces, but also give you guys some tips on what to look for when you are thrifting. Because as I've stated in those videos, I'll link the playlist down below, but basically the key to a good rent fair outfit isn't necessarily finding extravagant pieces like this one or this top, but it's finding some basic pieces that have kind of a fantasy / Renaissance flair, but then styling it and layering it in a way that gets the point across, if you know what I mean. It'll become more clear as the video goes on. So first section of this video, we're going to be talking about how to source basic pieces that you can layer in your rent fair outfits online. There's different places where you can thrift online, like ThredUp, Poshmark, and Depop. I'm a little bit more familiar with Depop and ThredUp. I've only bought like a few things from Poshmark. I'm a little bit more intimidated because it's a lot bigger, and I'm thrifting less on Depop lately, but it is really useful for looking for key terms. Poshmark as well. ThredUp is a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to explain. The second section of this video is I'm going to be showing you what to look for when you go to thrift stores. Now, I'm not going to be doing a demonstration of me going out and thrift in this video, but the next video, part 2, I'm actually going to go out and source some items. So if you want to watch that, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you like this video, make sure you hit the bell notification, because this is going to be kind of part of a series. And right now it's the perfect time because though I don't celebrate Halloween, the thrift stores are putting out like costumey stuff. They kind of hoard the costumey stuff and save it for this time of year. So a little bit of a preview from one of my tips. And then the last part of this video, I'm actually going to be announcing another Whatnot show. I have one coming up at the end of this week. Relevance of when it is when you're watching depends on when I get this video out, but I'm going to be doing a fantasy / rent fair inspired show sale on Whatnot. I'll be showing you guys a few pieces that I'm going to be selling, and yeah, let's dive right into the thrift tips. So because I'm lazy and I don't like to leave my house, one of my favorite places to source items is ThredUp. Is it the most cost-effective place to source items? Not really. It depends on what brand you're buying. Sometimes you can find good deals if you stack the coupons right, you know, it works. But it's great for finding very specific pieces, and so I'm going to talk about some filters. So the first piece that I wanted to show off, you can't really see, hold on, let me zip this up, is this piece right here. As you can see, it's extremely like princess core run fair. It's got the lace up front. It does have a zip up back, and it's a bit too tight, but I'm going to be taking the zipper out and adding grommets. So, you know, thrift flipping stuff is a great thing to do as well. Basically how I found this piece is I like to just go into the tops section, women's tops, and then I adjust the search filters after that. So first of all, when I was looking for this specific piece, I clicked the sweetheart neck under neckline, and that would basically bring up all items with a sweetheart neckline. And then I went down to details and selected lace up. Now, sometimes ThredUp doesn't put things under categories that it would fit under, so not all lace up items are going to show up under lace up, unfortunately, but it's at least a good place to start if you're looking for more of like a corsety top. And other than that, to find a corset top, that's probably the best way. Now, if I was was looking for more of a peasant top like this one, which I actually found in store, but just as an example, this is another one where I might put lace up, although I would remove the tag for sweetheart neckline, and I might put v-neck, or I might not put neckline at all. I would also make sure I put long sleeve length if I'm looking for something with long sleeves, and of course you can also toggle by color. So if you're looking for a specific color, you could go in and select the colors that you're looking for. Another one of my favorite parameters or filters is square neckline. You'll find a lot of tops like this one. I think I had it set to both sweetheart and square when I found this. You can also add ruching, and when you add ruche, sometimes you'll get like the poofy sleeves. You do have to scroll down and really look for things. You're gonna see a lot of stuff that you're not interested in. You can also select ruffle, and that is another way that you can, find tops like this. Again, not all items are gonna have the relevant details listed, so you might have to keep changing your combinations to find different pieces, but that's just one way, especially if you're not too concerned about brand. That's one way that you can kind of find things in the style that you're looking for. You could also, I think one of them too is, what is it? Shoulder cut. You can search by off the shoulder as well. Strapless if you're looking for something that's strapless. So those are just a few things to help you kind of dig through, because I know there's a lot of stuff on ThredUp. Now, if you are looking for things on Depop, it's a little bit easier because people are more likely to list things based on the aesthetic that it falls under. However, there's some people that inappropriately add keywords, and you're gonna find some irrelevant things, but some things you can put, if you're searching for specific aesthetic, you can put like hobbit core, fairy core, knight core, royal core, you know, the words with cores. It's kind of the newer styles. You can also search for like vintage vests, vintage corset. This is actually from the 90s, this one. I found this one at Goodwill in the Halloween section, which again is going to be part of, like, we're going to be thrifting together in the next video, but this is, sometimes you can search for vintage pieces that have kind of that look that you're looking for. You don't necessarily need a period accurate piece, because most people these days especially don't go for the reenactment historical fashion aspect of Ren fairs. They'll go in their own like original character, fantasy character. They'll wear elf ears or wings or big flower crowns. It's a lot of fun, and you can really make your own look. And I try to come up with a new look every time it goes. So, and because of thrifting, I have kind of an extensive collection. So we're gonna keep moving on. Let me show you guys another piece. Now this isn't strictly Ren fair, but again, if you build up pieces and layer them accordingly, you can kind of like show, I don't know, you can express the style without finding rigid like costume pieces. So this is a Victoria's Secret velvet top, and velvet is a really nice texture to incorporate when you're layering because it kind of adds a little bit more detail. So I really love crushed velvet, and this is really comfortable. It's very thin. So what I would do with this is, if I just had like a basic top, I would layer this over the top of it, and then to give it a more like corset look, they have these corset style belts, which, let me grab it. Okay, you know what? It's actually in my suitcase that I haven't unpacked because I was away for the weekend doing photo shoots with a friend, but I'm gonna pop up an image that's from my Amazon storefront. I've collected a few pieces that you can add to your Ren fair wardrobe. So there's just basic belts and like skirt hikes and things in that list, but these belts are perfect for layering over the top of pieces that you want to add a corset detail if you haven't quite found the right corset, because when it comes to like actual boned corsets, you want to get something that's a little bit higher quality for comfort, and also if you want it to like last. And this is more along the lines of like a casual fantasy core. Like let's say you're not going to a Ren fair, but you're looking for pieces that you can wear. Like let's say it's like a multi-day festival and you want something for casual when you're not at the fair. These types of pieces are really cool. I found this at Goodwill. This is just a basic cotton t-shirt. I think it's from the 90s, but it's super cute. This was actually going to be part of my sale and I stole it. But again, if you're looking to look up this piece like on Poshmark or Depop, this is the brand. But also, if you're looking on ThredUp, you might put lace up as one of the details. You can search the brand also. V-neck, sometimes you just gotta dig. Now this piece is very similar to the Amazon cottagecore dress that a lot of people use as the base of their Renaissance Faire outfits. I have quite a few of these in other colors, but I found this one on ThredUp actually, secondhand, which is always nice when you can find things secondhand. And how I found this is similar to how I found the tops. I just went into the dress section and I put in a square neckline, and I believe I also put in the skirt length, either midi or calf length. I'm not quite sure. I would try both separately because sometimes different things show up. Some things are listed as calf length, some things are listed as midi. You just gotta keep digging and looking and trying different search parameters in order to find the things that you're looking for. But the brand is Yaposha. If you don't want to thrift it, you can also buy it from Amazon, but again, I'm just giving you guys tips on how to find things secondhand. And then here's another piece as well that I think I hauled this. I got this in New York at a vintage store, L Train Vintage. So if you're in the New York area, L Train has a couple different locations. There's one where there's like a smaller shop and then a bigger shop right next to it. I'll put the address on the screen and in the description. And I really love this piece, although it's a little bit too big and I'm trying to decide if I want to sell it in my show or not. I'm not really sure yet. Now, as far as looking in thrift stores, it's kind of about persistence and luck. You just have to look through and see what they have, which I know that's not very helpful. But what I try to look for are, you know, those kind of round neck peasant drawstring tops, like the ones that I showed you. And then I have a few others that I can show you. Let me actually just show you some things that are going to be in my store. Here are some tops that I recently found at different thrift stores. We have this one, which is super cute. This is a very popular style right now, which can be styled to be more like Ren Faire fairy core if, you know, layered with other pieces. And then we have, this is another like kind of peasant style top. This is actually a New Day, which is a Target brand, which by the way, if you're looking for brands to look on ThredUp, I would search different Target brands like A New Day, Who What Wear, any others that I can think of later in post I'll put on the screen. Old Navy also had a lot of these like peasant blouses and cottagecore blouses that can be styled for Ren Faire, so I would check those brands out. But I've been seeing these a lot at just my normal thrift store, and they do run big, so this is a small. This would probably fit a medium or large because she's very flowy. We have another one. It's a little bit different. I wanted to get a variety of different styles, and then this one's more of a peplum style but can be layered as well. So these are just the types of tops that I've been finding lately. I would just check all the sections, all the different, because sometimes they're in the long sleeve, sometimes they're in the off, or if they have an off shoulder section, but sometimes they're in the tank tops. And then I have quite a few people telling me that, oh, that's fun, but only straight size people can thrift for Ren Fairs. That is not true. This is a 3X that I will have in my show. And don't worry, I didn't buy up all the Ren Faire appropriate clothing items from my thrift store. I just picked up a couple pieces. There were quite a few pieces that I left that can be thrifted by someone else. But I just wanted to show you guys an example that it is possible to thrift plus size pieces that can be styled for a Ren Faire. This beautiful top is, I don't know the brand, but I saw quite a few tops like this at my local thrift store because this, besides for Ren Fairs, it is a popular style just in like the mainstream. So it's all about finding basic pieces that you can style in ways that make it look, I don't know, you know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. It's all about styling. Now, we've mostly talked about dresses and tops. You know, just to recap, you know, we've got the square neckline, the sweetheart neckline, the V-neck with the tie or the lace up, got long sleeves and 3/4 sleeves. But what about skirts? This is the type of skirt that I tend to go for. This really flowy, kind of cottony style skirt. You can get some with some lace details. I really like the tiered look. It's very organic and looks very whimsical. So this paired with, let's say, I don't know if you can see, let's say I styled this skirt with this. And then over the top, I might put one of those corset belts and then maybe another belt and a skirt hike and then just tie it up. Finding little basic pieces like this that you can mix and match if you're planning on going to more than one Ren Faire is, you know, it's pretty useful. And then if this is your style, you can just wear this normal if you wanna. I do all the time. Belts. What do you look for in belts? I like leather.
That's what she said.
Specifically, natural real leather belts are probably the best. First of all, they are gonna last you the longest and you'll probably wear them in other contexts as well. Next, they just look nicer and look more authentic. Honestly, what I really love about leather belts is they mold to you after you wear them for a certain period of time. As the leather gets softer, it starts to kind of form to your curves. I've had one of my belts for more than like 12 years and I've honestly worn it so much and it's lasted me and it fits me so good. And I use that thing all the time, both for my own fashion and also for Renaissance fairs. It is my favorite belt. But this is one that I recently picked up. This is, sorry, that's just a string that I attached. But this is this really cool, there we go, kind of etched style belt. I don't really know the specific term for this style of belt, but I really love this. And then, where is it? Sorry, I'm like really unorganized. I also picked up these leather belts more recently. This one is a Gap belt, and this one is a Timberland belt, which is actually a really good brand, by the way. Sorry, I'm like not in focus. And my intention was to buy these to make skirt hikes, but now I'm looking at these, they're so good. I wonder if I should just use them. But I am making skirt hikes. Hopefully they'll be done for the show. If not, future show. But these are really nice, genuine leather belts. Usually you'll find these in the men's section rather than the women's section. I'm pretty sure these are men's belts, but even if they don't fit, let's say like if it's a men's belt and it's too big, you can add holes if you get one of those hole punches. That's the great thing about real leather, is that it can take it. Whereas if you take a faux leather belt and you try to put a new hole in it, it might fray and rip and all that stuff. The one that I was talking about, that's been my ride or die belt for years, I've added so many of my own holes to it, and it's, as long as you like condition the leather like you would your real leather shoes, it's gonna last you forever. So these belts are great. You can also look for more statement-y belts. These ones won't necessarily be real leather, but I really love this waist belt. It looks super piratey and it has like the elastic here. This is really great to put around the waist if you don't have one of those corset belt things, and even if you do, you can layer. That's the thing, layering the belts, layering the accessories, that's the key. Layers. And finding things with really interesting buckles, so you can sometimes change out the actual belt itself. Like let's say you find a belt with a really ornate, amazing buckle and the actual belt part is crap or it's tacky. Just DIY that. Get two belts. Get one belt where you like the actual belt part and you don't really care about the buckle, and just marry them together and it's perfect, and you'll have a unique belt that no one else has. Yeah, so always just check every section when you're going to the thrift store, and also just try to look at things for their potential. Even if it's like a basic item that you don't think is extravagant or amazing, you can always layer things. And I know I keep saying that, I'm a broken record, but like some of those tops, they just look like basic summer tops. But if you try to think about them in a way, try to visualize it and kind of look and see how other people are styling things like that. Look for inspiration like on Instagram. My Instagram is linked below. You can kind of think of new ways that you can style it to make it look more unique. And definitely check out the original video that I talked about thrifting for Ren fairs, because I do show some examples of outfits that I've made with pieces that I've thrifted. Shoes. What do I do about shoes? These are my tried and true adventure boots. They have seen better days, but these were thrifted. They don't have the sole of the heel anymore because I have worn them so much. They are crap, but I love them. They look good with all my outfits. I do have a heeled version of these, but they are murder on my feet and I do not recommend. But the brand of these is Breckles. No, I don't know what that is, but I got them at Goodwill. Speaking of Goodwill, I also got these recently at Goodwill. I love these because they're more steampunk. They've got that spats look, so always check the shoes. You never know what you're gonna find, especially now that they're putting boots out. It's the perfect time. They are a bit big on me. They're a size 8, and I have tiny calves, and so these are definitely more of a tuck pants into kind of boot, not a wear with a dress kind of boot. But if you're going for more of a steampunk look, I definitely recommend this style of boot with like the little buttons. You can totally DIY that as well. I've done it. Did you know that you can use googly eyes for fake studs and just paint it? The more you know. This is another pair that I thrifted, and I get questions about these all the time. The brand is Naturalizer, but I scored these at Goodwill and I have had them for years. These are real leather and they have a good solid heel, so they don't hurt my feet. I've actually worn them to a couple Ren fairs and my feet did not hurt at the end. That's the great thing about Naturalizer. They're so comfortable. They're like cushy and they have a lot of support. Definitely find shoes with support, or don't plan on walking a lot. I'm still trying to figure out like non-boot version of shoes. I'm gonna put up some inspiration of things that I'm looking for. I'm probably gonna end up DIYing something, like maybe finding some ballet flats and adding some like lacing to kind of make it look like peasant shoes or peasant, what are they called? And I want something that's like pointed and then like lacing. But yeah, so lace up boots are honestly, you can't go wrong. I definitely recommend those. All right, so we're kind of doing a haul, but not. I picked up these pieces for my show. This is an H&M tiered dress in an XL. This kind of has similar vibes as that skirt that I showed you earlier. And I'm gonna put up a picture of me kind of modeling it, attempting to model it. But this is a perfect layering piece. Ugh, dropping it. Foundation for an outfit, as well as this dress. Now this is also a 3X, and this would be really great with like some belts over the top of it, or maybe one of those corset belts. Since it has a lot of detail on the shoulder, I wouldn't go with a corset with straps. Maybe something more with like an underbust kind of situation, which I know I'm gonna get questions about. What about thrifting corsets? Good luck with that, darling. It's really hard. I'm lucky I found this one. I would say your best bet is probably to buy one or make one, which if you're skilled enough to make one, I have a friend that's making one. I wouldn't count on thrifting a corset. Definitely search local businesses. I'll have some Etsy shops linked in the description if you're looking for a corset. And here are some more casual like fantasy core pieces. I really love this dress and I'm very tempted to keep it. Look at those sleeves, so cute. This is for if like, again, like that one top, if you want to be fantasy but in everyday life. I'm also going to be linking a video in the description by my friend Kiki. She made a video about how to incorporate fantasy style in your everyday outfits. So that's why I haven't really treaded. I haven't really talked about that much. This is kind of a similar dress to the other one, but it's shorter sleeves, higher neck, but it has like a ruffly looking sleeve. Super cute. And this is another piece that I'm going to be selling. This is a New With Tags Express wrap top, and it has really beautiful details and is very fairy core. Very, very small. Too small for me. And I don't usually thrift Forever 21, but this is a really cool kind of a ranger-esque tunic. Can be worn as a dress if you're shorter, but it could also be layered with some trousers or a skirt. I have this, which I got off ThredUp, and then I ended up not liking how it looked on me, but it's a romper with a little lace-up detail here, and it's very, very elfy, fairy, kind of Tinkerbell. And then this is from my own collection. I'm selling it. It is a tunic by Who What Wear. Again, that brand has some perfect pieces. And this is how I styled it. I actually layered it with pants, a corset, and the corset belt, and my belt. I love that look. One of my posts that I did for it got like 10,000 likes, which is more than I've ever gotten on a static post. But yeah, so those are just a few of the pieces. Not everything is listed yet. I'm still working on that and I need to source some more things. So that's coming right at you guys. I know I haven't covered pants and trousers. That one I'm still kind of getting a feel for. I'm a little bit more comfortable with dresses and skirts when it comes to Ren Fair garb, but perhaps in part 2, we will cover how to look for pants and trousers if you want to do more of a ranger, more of a masculine look. I do have a video on doing a more masculine look for Ren Fair, as well as how to deal with the heat. So those videos are in the playlist that I'm linking. It's on TikTok. They're shorter videos. So if you're interested in how I would style looks for that, that'll be in that playlist. So I didn't want to have to tread on that again. But if you are looking for like what colors to look for when it comes to trousers, of course brown, olive green are great. You can even go for black. I do have some pants that are technically in the men's section but can be styled by anyone. They are also in the Amazon storefront. Not thrifted, but it's if you want to at least get ideas of what to look for when you're at the thrift store. That's where that's at. So yeah, so that's all I have to say about this subject. We're gonna be going out and thrifting together for the next video, looking for some Ren Fair staples, some fantasy core inspired outfits and pieces, because I don't just go to Ren Fairs, I also do a lot of photography, and I've been kind of leaning into the fantasy photography lately, especially since one of my friends is really into it as well. So I'm always on the hunt for something really cool. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Again, make sure you like this video to help boost it, to help me succeed, because Lord knows I need it. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.